Today I want to talk to you about the parts of the microscope. You should have a paper that you will fill in as you watch me demonstrate the different parts. And then if you hear the function of each of the parts, please add that little note out beside the name. The first one I'm going to start with is the eyepiece. And generally the eyepiece is at a 10 times magnification, so it enlarges something about 10 times. And the eyepiece is where you put your eye up against. This one is called the nose piece. So this nose piece is going to allow it to turn. The objectives can be changed. We always start with the red or the smallest, shortest objective, and it's usually 4 power. So 4 times magnification, and then we multiply it times the 10 times on the eyepiece up here. So we end up with a 40 times magnification. So if we rotate the nose piece to the next longest objective, this one is at 10 power magnification, 10 times magnification. And so then we multiply that 10 times the 10 times on the eyepiece, and we get 100 times magnification from these two. Then finally, when we go to the largest objective, these are objectives, this one is at 40 times magnification, and we can multiply it times the eyepiece of 10, and we end up with a 400 times magnification with those two. So we typically put our specimens on this stage right here. So if we have a slide that we put on the stage, this place is the stage where everything is going to be viewed from. So we pull these stage clips. These are stage clips. We pull them to the side, lay the slide on the stage over the little opening right here, which is called, where it lets the light through. And then we put the stage clips on the slide. It keeps it from sliding everywhere. And then remember that you've got to plug it in, and then you have to turn it on. On the back of your microscope is a little power button right back here, turning on the light. Okay, so you have the light source, you have the stage clip. Underneath here you have a little lever. This is to open and close the diaphragm. A diaphragm is something that goes from small and it gets larger, so it lets in more of the light from down here. So if you're ever looking under your microscope and you're looking in here and it looks dark, try reaching down and taking this little lever and moving it a little bit to see if you can open up the diaphragm and get a little more light in. You also on our microscopes have a way to reduce the light using this little rolling button right here, this little light source right there. So we can go back and forth to raise the light. Diaphragm, then the light source, stage clips, objectives, nose piece, eyepiece, and then let's go down to, these are called the coarse focus. This big knob right here is called the coarse focus. So we never want to start with focusing on the longest objective, because we might end up cracking the slide because if we slam it down too fast or too hard. So we always want to start with the shortest one. We go in, we put our eye up to the eyepiece, and we bring it up until we can see something coming into focus. This is the coarse focus. Then we move the smallest one, which is called the fine focus. So we can rotate it until we get it just like we can see with our eyes, where it's in really good view. Now once you get it into focus with the smallest objective, if you want to get a closer up view, you rotate around to the next largest objective, and this one is the 10 power, and then look in it again, and then use your fine adjustment to see if it's in focus. Okay, this is really good in focus. And finally, if I need to see it very, very close up, now this slide won't, it's moving because it's a very thick slide, and if I had started at that one, it would have busted the slide. So this one can't be used on that very highest power. So at this power, the medium power, I have 10 times 10 is 100 magnification. Two other parts of this microscope are this carrying arm, the handle, and the base. So we want to take, whenever we're moving one or transporting it from the storage closet, you unplug it, and then you want to wrap up your cord. Wrap your cord up, wrap the Velcro strap around it, and tighten it together. Then you would pick it up by the handle and the base and carry it back to the storage closet. Put your cover on it. This is the dust cover, and that would keep it protected. I want to show you another microscope which is really cool to use, and it's the binocular microscope or the dissecting microscope. And this microscope is really fun because it has two eyepieces here, which make it a little different. And so on this one, you would take, and as you've got it plugged in and everything, but you use these two eyepieces, and notice that they can move apart. The two eyepieces have a power of 10 times, and when we pull them apart, you want to adjust them for your eyes. So if your eyes are further apart or closer together until they come into focus really well. And you only have one adjustment on this one, a coarse adjustment. This one is generally used to look at things that are more dimensional. They're not flat. They're not a single layer of cells. So maybe something that I'm dissecting. If I wanted to look at maybe frog eggs and put them underneath here, I can put them under here, and I see them in dimension. It gives you a 3D view of them. So this is a dissecting microscope, binocular microscope. The other one is a monocular, mono 1, binocular 2 eyepieces. So if you have got your paper, you want to get this one filled out so that you have all the parts labeled.